everybody, this is Amanda Frankel with Our Crafty Playdate, and I have to tell you a secret. I just realized that tomorrow is Valentine's Day and I've done nothing for my kids' teachers. So, small panic here. I ran to Target and I got these Ferrero Rocher chocolates, thinking that they would be good, and I just folded, that's how they open here on the back, and I just fold that up, and I want to show you what I made for these, because my kids' teachers expect something homemade from me, and I don't have time to make the chocolates, but I did make the little box, and they just fit right in there. What I did was, I'm going to show you how to make the box today. Don't need that in there. Little string. I'm going to show you how to make this box today. I'm going to show you how to make it solid, but I'm going to also show you how to do this, but we're going to make a solid one today if you don't want the heart cut out. I like the heart cut out because I think it's adorable. But in case you're putting something else in there, I want to show you how to make this box. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I did is I measured my box, okay? And this Ferrero Rocher, I flipped it over because it's kind of, you can see it's slanty here. So I measured it, and it is really like 6.5 by 5. But if I do 6.5 exactly for my bottom of my box, it's going to be hard to get out of the box. And I want them, it's chocolate for goodness sakes. I don't want them to rip open the box like crazy people to get it out. I want them to be able to lift it out. Okay, so we are going to make the bottom of the box a little bit bigger than we normally would. So I'm going to teach you how to do this. I used a solid cardstock. Now on this one, I used Melon Mambo. And what dictated my color choice is this pack of fabulous paper. This is the Painted with Love paper, and it is in the spring catalog. And I have made a card recently, and I thought I grabbed one here to show you, but here we go. Yes, I made this card recently, and I got a lot of great feedback on it, and I thought, oh, I'm going to teach them a cool trick. So keep this card in mind, because they're going to get one of these too, the teachers. But anyway, so we use this paper here for that card, and I'm also going to use it today. Ooh, that's very bright and shiny. That's the base that or the top that I did there. But we're going to do a different one. We're going to do it with this one because I think it's just so pretty. But anyway, this cardstock has a lot of different colors in it, and it has gold foil, which just makes it look completely special. But it also gives it a little extra strength. So this paper is great for box making because it's just a little bit stronger than our normal designer series paper. But what I did to pick my color of my base of my box is I looked back here, and it lists all the colors in those boxes. And so I went through here and I said, Melon Mambo. All right, let's do one for Melon Mambo. There you go. And this ribbon is the free celebration ribbon pack that is in your celebration catalog. So this is this ribbon right here. It's free with a $50 purchase, and you get 3 rolls. You get basic gray, it's 1/4 of an inch wide, or Bermuda Bay, which is this bluish color, and it's 1/8 of an inch wide, or you can get the, no, they all 3 come together. You get all 3 of them. But you also get Calypso Coral, which is 3/8, which is what I used, this. And it's kind of shimmery. It's a little shiny. So I thought it would be perfect to go with something that has this gold in there. So that's what I chose for this. And I did the ribbon separately from the bottom of the box so that they can just open it without having to untie my perfect bow. So I'm going to teach you how to do all this today. But that's how I chose the color for this one, for this bottom. I'm going to use, since I told you I'm going to use that other print today, we are going to use this Calypso Coral with the gold because I just think it's going to be so stunning with the ribbon. And we're going to use a Calypso Coral base also. So I'm going to teach you how to cut this. So what I did, anyway, back to the measuring here. I got ahead of myself. It is 6.5 by 5, and I want it to be just a little bit bigger. I told you because I don't want them to have to rip open the box. So I calculated it at like 6 3/4. It just gives me a little bit of play. So that's how I did my measurements. I'm going to list the measurements here on your screen, but so that you know, because this is a rectangular box, your bottom, you want to initially cut this piece at 9 3/4 by 8 1/4, and I'm going to show you how to do that with an 8.5 by 11 real quick because there is a trick to this box. Okay, so right now it's 8.5 by 11, and I need 8 1/4, so I'm just going to shave off 1/4 here. Okay, That's my quarter. Probably won't go to waste. You know me. All right, and now I need 9 3/4. So I'm going to bring it up here and look at this. 9 3/4. This is just an arm that comes out in your trimmer. Folds under when you don't need it, but it slides out when you do and clicks into place. I want 9 3/4. So it's right there, like that. And now this is the bottom of the box. So I want the top of the box to slide right over it and not have a problem. And I want it to be about 1.5 inches high because that is how deep this is. Okay, so I wanted it to be 1.5 inches tall, the bottom. The top, I don't want it to come down all the way over because I want the color to show. So that's going to be a little shorter, but this has got to be 1.5 inches here. So I'm going to score 1.5 inches all the way around. But before I do, because I want the bottom of the box to be smaller, I'm going to shave it. And I'm going to shave 2 sides, this side and this side, just 2, not all 4. And here's, I'm going to bring this up. No, I'm not. I'm going to bring you down. Here we go. Let's see if I can do this without making it too jiggly for you. Okay. I am going to shave it. So here is a cut track right here. You can see the track line right next to the track. The track actually goes in here and you can clean it out. Right next to this track, where this edge is, there is another line, like a joint. So I'm going to put it against the cut line and I'm just going to slide it a little bit further to go right to that joint line. So it's the next line over. It's not even to the white part of the cutter. And I'm just going to shave that off. And it's a super thin little shave, you can see. It's just a hair. And now I'm going to do that on this side too. So I'm going to line it up with the cut line right here. And then I'm just going to slide it over and shave it off. Okay, done. All right. So now the base of my box is cut out. I'm going to go ahead and score it while I've got it. So remember, we needed it to be 1.5 inches thick here. So we're going to score it at 1.5 inches all the way around. Your trimmer has, I'm going to bring you back out here. Ooh, got you closer. Let's see if I can do this slowly so I don't make everybody dizzy. Okay, made everybody dizzy. Sorry about that. Ooh, that is very shiny. Okay, so now your trimmer has this blade here, which is your cutting blade, and this blade here, which is your scoring blade. I am going to slide my cutting blade way out of the way and lock it down because I don't want to accidentally cut my cardstock. I just want to score it right now. And I'm going to score it at 1.5 inches all the way around. So I'm going to score down and up, rotate it, move it to 1.5 inches here. Got it. And I could bring out my scoreboard. I love my scoreboard for scoring. But the reason I'm using my trimmer is because I already had it out, right? So saving steps and saving paper is what I'm all about. So there's 1.5 inches, and here is 1.5 inches. Okay, so this is basically the bottom of my box. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, feels like you're very close. I'm going to cut on this score line. You know what, before I cut on the score line, let's do this. Let's go ahead and fold up these edges. So I'm going to just use my bone folder. You always, when you are making a box, don't cheat yourself. Get a bone folder and use it to score up your edges. You'll end up with a much crisper box. Some things you shouldn't skimp on, and you should definitely use a bone folder for your box scoring. And you should also use really good glue for your box. You can either use Fast Fuse if you're good at it and you're a tape runner girl or boy, or I, am a liquid glue fan. Okay, so now I can see my score line so much better, and it's going to make it so much easier for me to go ahead and cut. So I'm going to cut up like this, right up to my joint there, and then I am going to notch. And I always notch a little bit so that, well, I didn't notch very much, did I? I always notch a little bit so that I can fold it in without it being an issue. Again, and notice that I'm doing it on just these 4, okay? I'm not, see, it's a rectangle, it's just these 4. Okay, so this one too, here, and a notch. That's a kind of a crazy little, all right, and now up here, good, and there, and now here, and a notch. All right, let's go ahead and glue this together real quick. And again, I am going to use my liquid Tombow. If you like fast fuse, you can use that, but please don't use something like a snail, or you can even use like a tear and tape is great. Don't use a snail on this, because when it's a box or something that moves, you're going to want to make it a little stronger, okay? And this just gives you, the reason I like this as opposed to fast fuse is it gives me a second to kind of marry that little joint and just pinch and hold for a second, put a little here, fold it up, find that hinge, put it in there, pinch, hold, pinch, pinch, pinch. Over here, I'm going to fold these two flaps in before I start to glue. I'm going to put a little liquid here, and you can see how precise I'm being here with the glue application. If you're doing fast fuse, you're going to have to be a little more careful than this. And here. And I'm just going to pinch and hold and talk to you for a second. So one thing that I always do also is I always kind of like do this with the corners of my box. Just pinch them a little bit to make sure that they don't bow out. Okay. Just kind of reinforcing that fold. Okay, so there is the bottom of my box. I'm going to set this aside and we're going to make the top. The top of our box, the measurements, you're going to cut from your designer series paper. The measurements of the top of my box are 8 1/4 by 6 3/4, and I already cut it. I already cut it ahead for you. I did that because I don't need to do any kind of fancy trimming on it. I don't need to do the shaving part. I just am going to now go ahead and score it. So again, my cutting blade is well out of the way. And the top now, remember, this was 1.5 inches. I don't want it to come all the way to the bottom. So I don't want to make it 1.5 inches too. I'm going to do 3/4 inch because I want it to come about halfway down the box. Okay, so that you can really see both colors here. So 3/4 is what I'm going to score here all the way around. All right, so that's 3/4 there. And I'm going to score it. Let me show you a cool trick too. This is a cool trick. All right. Maybe the coolest trick of all is not knock over my camera. Am I making everybody blind with these lights? I'm so sorry. This paper is so shiny. All right, so I've already scored this side here, but just so I can show you here, your scoreboard here, or your scoring tool part of your trimmer, comes out to 1 1/4 inch here. So 3/4 inch is easy to do past this line, and it just gives your paper so much more stability. So that's what we're actually going to do. 3/4. So if you're doing anything under 1 1/4 inch, it's a good idea to use this side to measure. 3/4. And I'm missing one. Here we go. 3/4 is right here. 3/4. And again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm done with my trimmer. Isn't that cute? So the back sides of all these papers that are shiny on the front, they're flat. They don't have any foil to them. So there's also very cute though. I'm going to go ahead and fold that up and burnish it. Fold this up and burnish it. This side too. And this side too. And I want to teach you, okay, so with the box that I made with the heart cut out, because I told you I'm not going to cut out the heart on this one, but, because I just want to do something different. But if I were going to cut out the heart, oh gosh, that's so shiny. Everything here is so shiny. All right, if I were going to cut out the heart, I would want to do it now before I make this into a box, because I'm going to have to run it in through my Big Shot, and I don't want this to be tall. I want it to be flat. Also, because remember this is going to be 6 3/4 inches wide here, it's not going to fit through my Big Shot. So I am going to fold one side down. Just make sure that you're not cutting with your heart or your circle or your square, whatever you're doing here, up right against that, because then you'll cut through 2 layers. But the framelits that I used for this heart here are the Sweet and Sassy, and I just used them the other day for a card on my Facebook Live, and then I made a video for you guys that are YouTube followers but not Facebook followers. Although why are you that? Anyway, this right here, this heart is from that set, the Sweet and Sassy set, and there are 2 different kinds of hearts in this set. There are 15 total. There are regular hearts like this, and then there are these sweethearts, and sweethearts are just the ones that come into a point like that. This is that one that comes into a point, and that's the one that I used. This is the same one now, when I cut it out, that made that card that I showed you and then promptly lost. Oh, here it is again. See, I lose it, then I find it. Then I lose it, then I find it. Okay, this is the same size that made this. So since I have to make more of these cards for the teachers, I thought, well, I'll just cut that out of there, save that heart that is the negative, and now I'm going to use it on my card. So there's no wasted paper, and I'm still going to get the same thing out of there. So that's awesome. Also, I added a little square of window sheet back here behind it so that it wouldn't just be a hole that I could poke all the way through here for that one. Okay, so we're going to move that out of the way and just go ahead and do our top. Okay, so we've already scored it and we've already burnished it. We're going to go ahead and cut it, and we're just going to cut the exact same things right here on these sides. We're going to cut just to our score line and notch and notch. And now to these score lines. You guys need to get your Maui Jims or your Ray-Bans on here. These are so shiny, these papers. They're awesome. Okay. All right, so that is taken care of. Now, these are my little flaps that are going to get my glue. My very technically perfect glue application. It's just going to be like that. Fold it in and glue. Fold it in and glue, and I'm just going to hold that for a second. Now I'm matching it to that corner, right? I'm using that corner as my guide and pinching, and then I'm going to come over here, tuck my flaps in and my flap in here and here. Okay, so these little Ferrero Rocher things I got at Target, they're under $4, guys. So this whole gift for my teacher, my kids' teachers, yeah, because I'm in 3rd grade. But for my kids' teachers, they're not going to be expensive. I'm going to be able to make it for about $4 for the Ferrero Rocher. And then I've got this paper on hand. You could use whatever paper you have, but why would you? Because this is so cute. All right. My lid is made for that box, and it fits perfectly. And it is adorable. And now I'm kind of regretting not putting the heart in it. But that's okay. It's still going to be adorable. And now I am going to do a bow for this one also, with this same ribbon. So let me show you how I did that. I used a bow maker. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell bow makers. My customer's husband makes them for me. So I do have some on hand, and if you want one, let me know. Send me an email and I will get one to you, or make a comment here. My normal standard card bow is going to be one peg apart like this, one hole. But I want this bow to be a little bit bigger than a normal card bow, but I don't want it to be ginormous, okay? Because that's also a word. So I'm going to use my Luscious ribbon here, and I'm going to give it a lot of leeway out to the side. And instead of just, normally I would do this, go under the legs to the back and tie, and then that's, whoops, and then that's my bow. You're going to have to trust me. Then that would be my bow. But this one I actually have, as you saw there, I have 2 loops. See, I have 2 loops. Not hard to do. All you do is wrap it twice. 1, 2. I'm going to go now down between the legs, up over the top, just like I normally would. The only thing I did differently is I wrapped it twice. Now in this card, I'm going to just hold this for a second while I tell you. In this card, I added some of this mini sequin trim, this gold mini sequin trim, which is also just luscious. And if I wanted to put some in here, I could put some little pieces of it through here, and they would, this is where I would do it. I would do it right here. I would just loop them on here, just lay them over here. And then when I go to the back, they would be trapped here, and then I would be able to tie them in. But I'm not going to do that today, but I'm not going to add those today, but I just did want to show you how you would do that. Okay, so now my bow or pieces are right there, my ears. I'm going to go straight out for my ears like I always would. Everything here is exactly the same as my normal bow, and I do have a video on how to tie a bow where it's done from this angle, so you can see it very clearly what I've done. But I'm going to tighten my bow here, and I'm not going to cut it off until I put it on my box lid. All right, so to put it on my box lid, generally speaking, I would say you do not want to add liquid adhesive to fiber because it makes it sticky and gummy and gross. Look at how perfectly I cut that. That couldn't have gotten much better. So I'm gonna give myself some space here, cut it off here, and you could use glue stick to, or not glue stick, what am I talking about? You could use mini glue dots, which I had here a second ago. Here we go. I'm using these that I got with my paper pumpkin because I'm out of mini glue dots. And I'm just gonna put one here, right here where I want it, and then peel off the back. So generally speaking, guys, I would not have these. These are just the ones that came with my paper pumpkin kit, and I hoard them. And then they're great when I have to take a project with me to go to like karate or something like that. Okay, I'm going to put this side on because this side was the one that was pretty much measured for me. Is that right? Yeah, look how perfect that is. This side is a little longer over here. That's okay because I'm going to fold it up under, and I'm just going to, once I know where it's going to be, like right there, I can go ahead and just put my glue dot right back behind here. As soon as I stop recording this video, I promise I'm going to get online right now and order my glue dots so that I'm not out for my next video for you guys. All right, there we go. All right, so there is my box. Now, when I put it on here, I'm going to drop these in here. Perfect. And when I put my lid on, then I can play with my bow a little bit. And all I'm going to do is stretch that out like that. There you go. Oh, spilled my coffee. There you go. Coffee is a priority in my house. Okay, there you go. And that is this one right here. But if you were to cut the heart out, don't forget, you should make a card out of it. Don't ever just leave this for nothing. All right, and you are all set. I have a couple more to make for teachers before the day is done, so I'm going to get going. I hope you enjoyed this. If you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be yours. Just go to my website here and you can shop there, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.